What is going on, everyone? In this video, I want to show you how you can test your Lambda function locally on your own local machine prior to pushing that code and deploying it to your AWS account. Now, as you can imagine, this is a very useful concept because it allows you to iterate quickly without having to deploy every time, allows you to also test your changes to make sure that they are working prior to actually pushing them out and getting it into production. So the mechanism that we're going to use to do this is through a tool called SAM, stands for Serverless Application Model. And it's a command line tool that you can use to basically run these functions locally. And the tool uses Docker in the background, so it spins up a Docker container. So as a prerequisite for this video, you're going to need to have SAM installed, the CLI tool, and then you're also going to need to have Docker installed, regardless if you're on Windows or Mac. Now, I have two videos on how to do that. I'll put that in the description section below in case you want to get all that set up. But I'm going to move forward here, assuming that you have both of those things installed. By the way, everything that I'm showing you here is going to be in GitHub. I'm going to put a link to the repository down below so that you can clone it and try it out for yourself. So let's just get right into it. So just taking a look at our project here on the left. So this is just a very basic Node.js application. We have a couple key files here, so I'm just going to minimize that. So we have our package.json, nothing really surprising here, just declaring some dependencies on the AWS SDK, and then some testing frameworks for Node.js. And also have a template.yaml file. So this is the file that contains the CloudFormation template for your Lambda functions. Now, I do realize that not everyone is going to have their Lambda functions defined as YAML and probably not using SAM. Some of you may be doing this manually, but I would highly suggest you try this process out to build and deploy your Lambda functions. It's very, very easy. It's easy to replicate Lambdas if you need to in the future so that you can basically copy and paste and have the exact same configuration as opposed to having to go through the console. So let me walk you through what's going on here. So this is a template document, and this is a document that essentially is a template, and it tells AWS CloudFormation what resources rather you want to deploy. So we can basically ignore this top stuff here. This is all just metadata that you don't really need to care about. And what do we have going on here? So underneath the resources section, we have a resource called Lambda Demo function. And it is of type AWS serverless function. Now, this is a custom construct, the serverless construct for creating Lambdas. Makes it much more convenient. You can also use the default Lambda ones, but makes it a little bit more challenging. And I just find that the serverless construct here, the serverless type, gives you a lot of value add features that allow you to deploy Lambda functions a little bit more quickly. Okay, so then what else are we seeing? So under properties, we have code URI, and the format here is just your project path. So the project path to my Lambda here is in my local directory under a folder called Lambda. And if I expand that out, there's two different files. There's a lambda.js, which is going to contain our handler, and then there's a Lambda event. And this is what we are going to input into our Lambda when we're testing it locally. So as you would do in the AWS console where you go to test event, it's in the top right, you add your payload and then you click on save and then run the Lambda function. The equivalent is like this is your test event here. So we just have a dummy JSON object with a key being data and a value being a string that says this is the data. I'll show you how you can extract all this stuff out later. And then in our lambda.js, we have a couple things. So we just have a very basic Lambda handler. This isn't doing anything special. This is the default signature for a Lambda function, and I'm just returning Lambda handler done, just as a quick sanity test. And then let's just go back here really quick. So under handler, keep in mind that the format is the file name, which is lambda.js, as you can see over here, and the followed by a dot, and then the function name. So in our case, it is Lambda handler. So you can change this to foo Lambda handler or whatever you want. And all you have to do is just replace that with, foo Lambda handler here. I put a notation or just a comment here so that you can remember. And then of course the runtime that you're using. If you're using Python, obviously you put Python there. Just make sure that you look up the right string to use on the AWS documentation. So this is like a very simple Lambda, and it's a very simple setup that we have going on. So let's actually try to run this. And I put the command over here, so sam local invoke. And so let's just kind of inspect what's happening here. So we're using sam local, and we are invoking it. And we are passing flag -e, if E stands for event, and we give it a path to our event file, which is current directory Lambda, and then Lambda event JSON. So within Lambda, and the file name is Lambda event JSON. And then we're giving it the name of our function. So that is what is specified over here. So in your resource section. So the command that we're running is going to basically invoke our Lambda function with these arguments. So let's get the terminal out and try this out. Okay, so let's try this. So sam local invoke -e /lambda /lambda _ event.json and lambda demo function. Now, before I press enter, keep in mind that I am running this from the root directory, which is why I had to do like /lambda event. And let's test this, see if this works. So this should launch our Docker container. You can see some stuff going on here. And then you can see at the bottom, Lambda handler done. So it successfully invoked our Lambda function. So the next question is, how do I actually like extract the arguments from the payload? It's pretty similar to what you would do. If you're just using a normal Lambda function, you just say events.data. And remember that our input, our Lambda event, it's an object, and the key is data and the value is this. So now all we have to do is rerun this guy, and this should give us, this is the data, and there it is. So that's how you extract the arguments out of it. Now this is if you're just invoking a basic Lambda function. What if you're doing this through API Gateway, which is the second example that I have. So if you're doing this through API Gateway, so you have like an API Gateway endpoint, and then you have a Lambda function that's behind it, very, very common. So let's take a look at how you would do that. Just minimizing this stuff really quick. So I have a second function down here, and this kind of shows you how this is set up. So API Gateway function is the resource name. And then we have same thing, so serverless. And similar scenario for code URI, we have our folder here, which is this one, API Gateway. And then similarly, if we take a look at this, we have an API Gateway event.json and an API Gateway.js. Perfect. So we're also saying we have a handler file called API Gateway, which we do. It's API Gateway.js. And we're saying that our function name is Lambda Handler. So let's just take a quick look at that. That's not it. It is Lambda Handler. Perfect. Now let's go back there really quick. And so we're saying we're defining a REST API here. I'm just calling this hello world. This can be anything you want. It can also be like an SNS topic that like an SNS event that invokes your Lambda function. But you would have to swap this out with like SNS and then pass the right properties in. But this just shows you how to connect it very easily. And this is part of the reason I like using the serverless construct. It allows you to hook into all these different event sources much, much easier. So what you can do here is you specify the API, it's a hello type, and the method, in this case it can be get, you can put it to post or whatever you want. And then let's take a look at what's going on in our function. So right now it's just returning just a dummy string, but say someone is passing in arguments. When they're using API Gateway, there's two means. If it's a get request, then it'll be in the query string parameters. And if it's a post request, it'll be in the body. So let's just test this first before we even look at the event. And then I'll kind of run you through how do you extract arguments from the event itself. So let's open up terminal again, and let's run this first command. So similar kind of thing, sam local invoke events, API Gateway .json, and then API Gateway function. So I'm actually just going to copy this time just to save me some time, and add an N. And so we should see API Gateway handler done. And something broke. Right, so we gave it the wrong directory here. So this should be API Gateway. I didn't change this. I had a different format prior. So let me just try that again. Actually, I can just change that in here. That to API Gateway, and this should work fine. Should see API Gateway Lambda Handler done, and we do see API Gateway Lambda Handler done. So what if I want to extract the arguments from the event? So what does our event actually look like when we want to pass it into API Gateway? So it looks a little bit something like this. So let me try to zoom out a little bit so you can make some sense of what I'm showing you. So we're saying here this is a post request. This can be GET, it doesn't really matter. And then we have something called query string parameters. This is an important string because when someone passes something into your URL and they're doing it through the query string, so that's a useful way of getting your input arguments if you're using a GET request. Now, if you are using a post request, then you don't have that luxury. Typically, you put your data in the body. So it's right there at the top. So we can see here that we have an object here. We're passing a message, and the value is hello. So let's just run this through a quick little sanity test by going back to our API gateway function. So let's say we're trying to extract the query string arguments. So let's say events.query string parameters. Let me just make sure I typed that right by going to our JSON. So I'm actually going to copy that. And what we're looking for is foo here. So the key is foo and the value is bar. So let's just go over here and we're going to do that. And we're going to say .foo. So we should see bar being returned because that's what the value is from the event. As you can see here, the value is bar. So let's just run this really quick and see what happens. And this is spinning up our Lambda or a Docker container, and you can see our output is bar. All right, so it's the same process. If you want to try and extract the body, you just go to take a look at whatever event you have, extract the key here, and then obviously you may need to do some parsing here in order to get that message out since this is a JSON. Now I did want to show you something else that was pretty cool, which is this second command here, sam local start API. And what this will allow you to do is keep your Docker container running, and it'll hot reload every time that you make a code change, and it'll just automatically change in your browser. So let me just show you how that works really quick and you can play with it. So you can do sam local start -API, and this only works for the API gateway component, by the way. And what it's going to do now is it's going to launch that Docker container and keep a process open. So we can see here it's on this IP and port. We can take this, open up your browser now, and just paste that in. And you can see by default you have missing authentication token. And the only reason that's the case is because we haven't provided this with the path of our API. So if we go to template.yaml, we can see our path for this API is /hello. Now if we just take that and put that in here. Now, by the way, this is going to fail because if we just quickly go back to our API gateway, it's expecting like a fully well-formed API response with like a 200 status okay. So as it is now, it's not going to work. It's probably going to throw me an error or something. Yeah, it did. And if we take a look at why it's throwing an error, invalid Lambda response received. So it's basically saying, yeah, so Lambda returned empty body, which is not acceptable from an API gateway perspective. So that's why we're getting an error there. But all you do is just return a basic 200 OK with your data payload, and you should be fine. And if you're interested in learning more about Lambda, check out the playlist on the right here. And if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you next time.